In this video I am editing some Zelda Kingdom of Tears material that I recorded earlier this afternoon. I'm still very early in the game, and so I don't think anything here is going to be interesting for, no spoilers basically. So there are some, one of the things in Kingdom of Tears is that you can construct things much more than you could in the previous Zelda, Breath of the Wild, whatever it's called. So in this one there is a simple mechanism whereby you can join things together and then they can do things like follow gravity. The physics is very simple, and so in this one I've been using I'm trying to get across and slide down a rail. We'll see what I mean in a moment. And in the end I had to build myself a contraption out of pieces of wood, because there was the standard mechanisms which are sort of hooks. I failed miserably to get on before they slid away. Anyway, so here are some edited pieces of my current Kingdom of Tears, and in some of the videos that are on YouTube, they're so funny you do come to tears. It's really funny. It's been obviously it's an amazing game, and it's certainly worth looking at other videos, because it's basically taken off in the last few days, because the game was released a couple of weeks ago, and players have got to the point where now they can really explore all the nooks and crannies, find all the things that all the sort of glitches, and basically having a great time. So previously I would have thought that the last 8 weeks or so of YouTube would have been consumed more with the artificial intelligence releases. There's improvements that have been going on this year with ChatGPT and its graphics and image processing versions of it. There's certainly been a lot of things about deep fakes and things. But so I've made a couple of videos about stable diffusion and using some of the open source versions of that, and it looks like YouTube has mostly been driving in the Zelda direction instead. So my turn to make a Zelda video. So again, no spoilers probably, because this is way too early in the game, but it's, I've made a couple of interesting vehicles, as it were, to get across, and so you get some idea of what it's going to be like at the beginning, and then you can look at other videos to see how experts have done in this game, and it really is amazing. So the first thing I need to do here is switch over to switch over to the Pinnacle Studio and find where the okay, here's the thing I made. So let's just cut the bits of this out. Don't need that, don't need that. So we'll start here, and here's me just demonstrating that it works. Bumps back down again, so somewhere around here is good enough. Cut there. Go find something. The next piece. Don't need that. Let's just expand this a little bit. Next one. Okay, so here, what do? I join some sticks together. Okay, so that started about somewhere around here. Let's start there, cut, delete this bit. Oops. I think that didn't work because I didn't click here first. Okay, build, sticky. Where's sometimes you had to pick it up from a different perspective, and then I accidentally dropped it, but it dropped in a location where it was usable. Walkie. Okay, cut there. Let me skip on to the next bit. I'm running around. Talkie. These bows. This is an interesting building. I don't know what this is used for yet, but it floats on its own. Oh, come on. Did I cut? I did cut. So why don't I just select you only? Just you, so I can delete. Thank you. So it floats. It's a building that bits of components that float, and there's several of these, so I assume we can use those for something at some point. We'll just find out later when we know what they are. You can walk underneath it. Show it just is floating. Bloom, zoom. Another how to cook. If you played the first Zelda, then you'll know what cooking's about. We cook something. Whiz. Look around. Aha, here we go. Korok. We found this Korok guy, so we'll cut here. And we want to delete this bit. We don't need that. So we talk to him. Bleep. Then I want to go over there. So we pick him up, move him around. Try again. Attach him to one of these hooks. I mentioned these hooks previously. And we just drop him. Oops, missed. First time we tried to drop him, it didn't work. A bit more careful, and there we go. So from here onwards, he manages to slip away to the other island. Whee! Okay, so we can do a cut there. Jumpy. Sticky stuff. Try a few times. Not quite. So now I'm standing on it. Yes. So let's just okay. We'll cut here. Delete this one. Nope, that one. We might as well watch this. So manage to jump on. We can turn the camera around. Yay, there we go. So jump off, turn around, disconnect the guy. Waggle. Try to pull him underneath, he doesn't want to go. Around the outside, there we go. So, there we go. Oh, it's bits of boat, obviously, so we can stop here and we can assume that worked. Okay, so from there, what do we do next? Around, oops, here we go. So this was another one I built. So we hit there. Don't need this bit. Get rid of that. There we go, jump on. Try again, and although I'm not exactly on climate on it, it's enough to be there, get across the other side and back to this island. Across from there and jump down. There we go. So that worked fine. What we're looking for next. We run around a lot. And find sticks, play with inventory, kill some blobs. Oh, here we go. So here we're going to build a boat of sorts. So here we're going to build a boat. We just glue two logs together. There's a sail. We just glue it on somehow. Rotating things is not always easy, so I find that you have to pick things up from the right angle, which means you walk around them, pick them up, and you can rotate them in certain planes only, and it doesn't really matter. It's amazing how things just work in this game, and that it's good enough. It's good enough as I think that's what they are saying. So what we do here is we first time we failed miserably, and then we're going to glue it on the end somehow. There we go. I'll just put a cut point there, and then we pick it up and drop it in the water, and it's stuck touching the sides. It doesn't go anywhere. Another cut point. So walk around here and pick it up again. Move it over to here. Cut point there. And run over and try to get on top of it. Which sometimes is easier said than done. You go off swimming in the wrong direction. As you can see, it's that little life thingy goes down really fast, which is why you need a boat to cross this bit of river or lake. And we're sailing. Then I decided to try to see if I could move to the other part of the boat, or whatever. Anyway, there we go. That's good enough for now. So that worked. I think that's fine. This piece was okay. I think this piece is the one I don't want. Yeah, I don't need that one. So from here onwards we go across over to the bank. Another blob we kill. Walkies run around, another blob. Plant some trees. There's a hole, we jump down there, call them back up again. Nothing interesting here in terms of what we're doing. Jump back in the hole. And here there's obviously another bits of boat, so obviously it wants you to do that. This guy, I thought I was going to drop a rock on his head, but apparently I missed, so I had to fight. Don't need another stick. You can pick up boulders. You can eat food. I probably should. Anyway, we're going to dispatch some of their robots. Cut a tree down for practice. And eventually, for this particular game, this version, I pressed the wrong thing and woke these guys up. I whistled inadvertently. I catcalled them, I suppose. Not surprising, they came up and beat the hell out of me. And I died, so there you go. So I should probably so start here. about there. Cut. Get rid of this piece I don't need. Run through to here. Cut that. That's fine. I think we're okay from there. Here to the end is probably killed. Yeah. All action. Eat, eat, eat. Just checking a few things. Probably cut there. Go back a little bit. Don't need this sequence at all. That's probably okay. Get rid of this guy. We'll just play to the end, I think. Looks fine. I like their shield, it's great. Let's see the other guys. This guy with the flaming torchy thing, that was not what I want. That didn't do me any good. Kill me really quickly. And I'm toast. Game over. And hit delete there and delete what's left. Okay, so let's just save that. Save the movie. It's going to be called Kingdom of Tears. Let's get back on a quick watch. Let's see if we... Yeah, looks fine. Gluing logs together takes a bit of... I should have just said attach at that point. Attach! Missed. Try again. So the thing about obviously the Switch controllers is, in fact, it's location sensitive, so you can actually just wave them around. Which is not, I don't normally play with them that way. I usually the thumbsticks and things, but you just wave them around in midair, and it sort of does usually what you think. So that's one of the reasons the image is jumping around a lot sometimes, just because I'm not holding the controller steady. So you have to rotate to the left to line it up, and then get close enough to glue, but because it's two flat surfaces it sort of auto aligns apparently. Yeah, it worked fine. So what we're going to do next, this is boring, let's just cut that bit out a little bit. Down here. We don't need to, alright, there we go, we don't need this bit. About there's probably about the next place we're interested in. Let's delete that. Now the way I recorded this video, there is no sound on the video, which is why I'm commentating the edit, and you're not hearing any game sound. I'm going to fix that in a moment, but for this reason, this is what I was doing at the time. And look, hey guys. Yeah, that's not interesting. Yeah, we can read it. There's some great things they do with Koroks. Some of the videos. You build rockets for them. Yeah, looks okay. Okay, so I think that's probably looks fine. Let's make sure we save the changes. We can go to the export window. Convert it into real video. I don't know why it keeps putting the .movie on the end, it's not interesting. 1080p, sure. Looks fine to me. Yep, so I'll do it and export. Away it goes. So this is how I edit videos. Given this is a live recording, I'm not take as much time as I normally would. Although I don't take much more time than this, because I'm too impatient. So according to the timestamp, it's actually encoding basically in real time. So on the machine at the moment it's running OBS and the video editing software at the same time. CPU's at 84%, graphics cards at 30%, 40%, 40%. So it's mostly CPU bound at the moment, with the graphics card offloading half the video encoding. So when this is finished encoding, I'll stop the OBS recording of the window. Then I will take the OBS recording and load that into the video editor, and maybe trim up some of that, maybe edit out some of the flubs in the vocals. I might even add my own sounds back in as I'm in the background, just to make it a little more or less than just my voice. So the Zelda Kingdom of Tears video will be a simple test to see how the YouTube is prioritizing this content over other content. I thought AI was going to be the content king, but this game has sort of at least taken over in my in the recommendations that I'm seeing. The other things I probably watch a lot mostly are typically science programs, mathematics. I actually watch a lot of the Gotham chess stuff because I think he's entertaining, but he is the top chess streamer. I've cut back on things like the Linus Media Group videos because I don't do much in the way of building. I do watch a few of the virtual reality based channels to see what the state of what people think of the current hardware. I mean, I do have multiple VR headsets, but I mostly use those as just head-mounted displays of them looking at web as portable web interfaces rather than I don't actually play games on them. So this Switch is probably the thing that I actually do play games on. The only other thing that games I typically play are things like Sudoku, web Sudoku, when I'm just sort of trying to pass time. The level I play is what they call it on web Sudoku, it's hard level, which games typically take about between 5 and 10 minutes. It's a nice amount of time, so it's not too difficult. It's like a glorified web search, word search, and sometimes it takes longer, but you know that it's a solitaire in the sense that you know it's solvable, and so it's just a matter of going through the process of finding the answer. So this video is 28% rendered. So anyway, if you have any comments or want any information about this sort of technology, so like you say, I started playing the game on a Switch. The HDMI video is coming out into a Live Pro L1 video switcher. That was going into an Elgato USB based HDMI capture, which goes into a Macintosh M1 running OBS software for capture purposes. I bought the M1 because I wanted something that could do Mac programming, though most of my computers are Windows and Linux. So that capture was done on the Mac M1 Mini, and then the file was transferred over to my Windows PC via a NAS, a network storage unit I have on my network. And then I'm editing it in Pinnacle Studio, and I'm using OBS screen capture to record what Pinnacle Studio is showing. I haven't checked to see whether this export window is being recorded. Probably is. The audio interface on the Windows side is a Zoom L8, which is working fine. Occasionally the audio output from the PC to the Zoom goes into, seems like a 8-bit mode with a very lot of distortion, but usually if I sort of stop the audio stream, like audio playback, and start it up again, say even using a Windows Media Player, stop and start the audio, then it switches back to being working again, and I can then resume what I was doing. It's not being used at the moment for playback, so I don't think it'll get onto the recorded stream. I also have a Zoom L20, but that doesn't work with my Windows laptop, which is a Windows 11, which is one of the things I wanted to use it for, because the Windows laptop I have, it's actually more powerful than the desktop I'm currently running on, although it doesn't have the NVIDIA graphics, so the Stable Diffusion video software can't take advantage of the graphics card on the laptop, so I'm using the NVIDIA GTX 1660 Super, I think is what it's called, that I put into the desktop to provide the CUDA cores for the video accelerator on the Stable Diffusion video encoding processing, AI processing. And so we're about halfway through the encoder, video encoding, export. That's fun. So this last week was the Bob Moog's anniversary special week celebrations. I'm wearing my Lisa Belladonna t-shirt. So I flew to Asheville, North Carolina, and on Tuesday I went to several events at the Museum there. It's well worth a visit if you get the chance. I bought a theremin kit, which was I heard about on Theremin 30 podcast. Another interesting thing if you're into sort of early electronic technology. This theremin kit is capacitance controlled. It's not a optical or an ultrasonic one, so it's a true theremin in that sense. I might look at seeing if I can work out how to convert its output into control voltages. That should be easy for me to do, since I understand how it works. It is just basically a dual 555 setup, as far as I can tell, and then using a microcontroller to take the signals and convert those and combine them to generate the volume controls. So that's what I see it as. So I hope I should be able to use some frequency to voltage converter circuits to convert the frequencies directly to voltage, and then I can send those voltages to my Moog workstats and things, so I can have a theremin controlled workstat using this kit. Or I can use, and also you can see if I can make it work similarly to my Etherwave Plus, which also has voltage outputs for the pitch and volume antennas, and also a gate signal. I haven't played with that recently. I haven't actually tried these voltages recently, but it's something that's worth doing. It's interesting. I don't know how much in the way of interest in YouTube there is for theremin mods. My workstat videos do well. My top video is a MIDI interface to a Moog workstat using an Arduino. So yeah, I think some of those workstat based YouTubes are doing pretty well. I have a few people who definitely enjoy doing some of the hardware modding. So anyway, we'll see how this video comes out, whether or not the Zelda Kingdom of Tears is enough of a hook to get it to be seen more. Or it could be that wave has already passed. I mean, everybody's getting used to how to set up videos. Everybody, I say everybody. Most videos you see will say, yeah, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like. At least in the search engine area, my optical cello video is still up there at the beginning in the Google search hierarchy. So I think luckily it's sort of unique enough that it's maintaining that slot. I was looking at my MIDI controller for the Moog Animoog software I built using iPod Touch, and I had to look quite hard because there's lots of Arduino MIDI controllers out there now. When I did my one for my Animoog software on the iPod Touch, that was 10 years ago, and I think there wasn't much of an audience for that, but back then. But at least it is one of the first videos with which I'll have using Arduino and multiplexer chips to provide a MIDI knob box. Okay, so we're getting to the end of this video close. It's still encoding in real time. It's not worth dropping the quality because YouTube then complains about having to upscale it to the standard definition. So the time taken is, I'm sitting here talking to you, recording it. So normally I would just put this off in the background and do something else while it's encoding. Anyway, we're down to 86%, so we'll be done soon. It's a boat. It floats. If it floats, it's a boat. Okay, time to die. Happy Memorial Day. Yeah, whistling wasn't the greatest idea. But I just forget what the buttons of the controller do. It wasn't my plan. And they're throwing rocks at me. I suppose that's why what explains why there's these pieces of wood all over the place. They're normally shields. Okay. Yeah, fire's nice. You don't want to. You burn up nicely. Hey, charcoal. Okay, see you later.